Sup with it, guys, you got excellent name here, back again for my APA week 1 match versus itzwhateva, very solid player. He has a team of Mega Glalie, Taunty, Superior, Suicune, Como-O, Mimikyu, Crocodile, Heliolisk, Bronzong, Garbodor, and Rapidash. A very difficult matchup for me in my opinion. A lot of things that shut down most of my prominent threats. Very solid counters to Zygarde, to Alakazam, and to Scolipede most notably. But not a lot of great ground resists so much, so I figured that Choice Banded Zygarde should be able to put in a decent amount of work just spamming arrows. Outside of Superior, Calm Mind, Tapu Fini has a really solid potential matchup if I can get the right opportunity to set up. Just a mixed defense. Ferrothorn here with the Occa Berry deals with Superior and to a lesser extent stuff like Taunty and Heliolisk as well. If he wants to be running Hidden Power Fire Heliolisk, I still have the Occa Berry intact. Then we're getting into the more low tier picks that the niche brings in the matchup. I figured that normal spam has a decent chance of doing well, so I decided that I'd bring offensive regular Kang, Fake Out, Return, Power Up, Punch, Fire Punch for the Bronzong of course. Taunt Eye here, just the Z move standard stuff, and then Misty Seed, Sceptile with SD, Leaf Blade, Acrobatics, and Crunch, mainly as a way to break Suicune and also as an answer to Superior, since I can take Leaf Storms pretty comfortably, especially with the Misty Seed boost, and it's one of my only things to actually outspeed it, outside of Mega Zam. But yeah, without further ado, we get into the game here. He didn't end up bringing Bronzong. He didn't, or Suicune, but he did bring Rapidash, which is quite an interesting pick. So I figured that Kang is a pretty good lead here. I get a Fake Out off onto anything that he wants to go into. I can tank pretty much any hits pretty comfortably and hopefully just start claiming kills or chips. He leads Rapidash here. I just go for the Fake Out. I should switch sides. And he gets the Flame Birdie proc immediately, which is really unfortunate. Because I decided to not run Facade on it, that means that I am, like, this Kang isn't really useful all that much anymore. Its bulk would have been kind of nice, but just not doing enough damage to really present itself as a threat. So I do sack it off there, but I do 1-for-1 trade, so it's not too bad. I go Ferrothorn there, and then I go into Zygarde, expecting the Heat Wave to come out, and then he burns that as well, which is unfortunate. Means that I can't go for arrows. Arrows would be doing 45 instead of 90, so I just go for the Glare here. Just to make sure that the rest of my team can outspeed, and I do get a crit on the Hurricane there, which, you know, makes up for the burns a little bit. I went for Hurricane there because I expected that he might want to go into Mimikyu to tank the Z move, or maybe Heliolisk as a pivot, and I didn't want to waste my Z move right away, because I figured it would be more important on other things. And also the chance of him hitting a Hurricane through paralysis and killing me is practically 0 anyway, so I felt pretty safe in going for that play. He does go into Heliolisk there, so I'm expecting Scarf pretty much immediately, so I can just pivot into Ferrothorn as he goes into his Crocodile. I can just get up the rocks here, go into Fini expecting him to click knockoff, and I don't want to lose my Occa Berry just in case, and that's exactly what he does. It's not worth setting up Calm Minds to me because he still does have the Heliolisk and the Mimikyu, so I just go for a Moonblast here, and he does go for the Earthquake again as I go for Moonblast. I didn't want to risk Tornai in case he decided to go for a Randy knock play, which was entirely possible. But he just goes into Glalie to revenge kill me with Freeze Dry, but I do have Ferrothorn here to tank the hit, as he goes for another one, clearly just trying to weaken me for the Mimikyu, which is what he goes into now. I decided it's more important to break his disguise than it is to get a para off, so that's what I do here as he goes for the Drain Punch to kill me off. But thankfully, Torn, being at full health, is able to guarantee deliver hit and can kill it with a Z move. Alternatively, if Torn was chipped, then I could have gone into Fini and then guaranteed live the hit with Sceptile, and hopefully killed it with Leaf Blade or Acro. But he does now go into Heliolisk, so now my best play is to go into Fini to sack that off for the Misty Terrain, and then go into Sceptile to activate the Misty Seed to then get the speed boost to outspeed him and kill him off with the Leaf Blade. Crit did not matter, I killed anyway. Like, 70-80% of the time, and even if I didn't, the max damage he did was 50. So yeah, solid game overall. A fair bit of early game hacks, which was really unfortunate to see, but we were able to have a fairly hacks-free mid to end game. And I feel like the hacks balanced out at the very least, so it wasn't a huge deal. But regardless, a very solid opponent, so I'm glad to have gotten this game out of the way with a win. Not the prettiest 1-0 win, but next week we play Slick Panther. So he's got pretty nasty stall team, so we should have a bit of fun with that one. See you guys next time.